Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of the India Youth Rebuild. Yeah, first of all, apologies that it took 2 weeks to get this video out. Shouldn't have taken this long, but yeah, I made the mistake of uploading video way too soon. Should have got the rest of the videos ready, especially with uploading just before Christmas. Obviously, none of you guys will know me. I'm brand new to YouTube, and yeah, I'm a dad of two, full-time job. One of my children is actually only 3 months old, so I'm very busy, very swamped in terms of my personal life at the moment. The way I planned it was to get way ahead of myself in terms of videos. Didn't do that, but that's what I'm going to be doing going forward, so it should be a lot more regular in terms of how often we upload. But basically what you're seeing in the background right now, we've got ahead probably a couple of years from where we were in the last episode, and we've actually got a couple of really good youngsters that have come through. Our squad itself has definitely expanded. We've got a few more stars with a bit of potential. So yeah, you haven't really fully seen them yet, but you will get to see some of their attributes. First game that we had was against Turkmenistan. As you see, we're going 1-0 up. Ashik Karunian. Yeah, probably butchered that pronunciation. Apologies for that, but he was the one who got us the 1-0 lead. It's only a friendly, nothing big. Going forward again, probably after this episode, we won't really be showing too much of the games, especially like friendlies and stuff like that. It'll be only like big games like World Cup qualifiers. Actual World Cup games, if we ever get there, who knows? Obviously, we've still got quite a few more episodes left, so you might need to stay tuned. Might even happen in this episode, you never know. But yeah, majority of this episode is going to be a bit of Asian Cup and a bit of World Cup qualifying, and also just looking at some of the young players that we've got through, because I'm telling you now, we've got 3 or 4 players that are absolute, well, first team players at 16, 17, 18 years old and are going to be, 100 plus cap players, absolute legends of the game for India over the coming years. As you can see there, we're in the Asian Cup. We've got a game against Oman. Big game for us to get through to the next round, really. Oman are actually quite a bit ahead of us in terms of the world ranking. Our world ranking had actually taken quite a bit of a dip around this point. What a goal that was from Cam Candola, our centre-back, 30-yard screamer. Absolute banging goal. Cam Candola is actually a real player, by the way. He plays for Wolves. Managed to get him to, agree to play for India. I think I didn't actually do it myself. He must have just decided, and whilst I was on holiday, the assistant called him up. And then there's a goal from Ashif Dev, and this guy, I'm not sure if I've actually already shown his first goal and his first appearances, but this guy, came through at 15 years old and was absolute superstar straight away. His goal record at the start was amazing, and as you will see, he just continued to score goals for fun. But after unfortunately going 2-0 up against the man, as you can see, they brought it back 2-2. Bit of a disappointing one. That was actually the end of the game as well, how it finished 2-2. Considering they were a team that are above us in the world rankings by something like 20 or 30 places at that point, we actually dominated the game. We had more chances. Should have won the game. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold on. 2-2 was the end result. But considering the difference in quality between teams, I actually think it was quite a good result. And should hopefully help us get through to that next round in the Asian Cup, which the main reason why I'm bothered about the Asian Cup, I suppose, is, and just any game at all at the moment, is to get that world ranking up. Get that world ranking up, I have a feeling we can get some of these other players who, got more ability than our current starting players. They see us obviously climbing the world rankings. They might actually want to join us. We do well in the Asian Cup. We do well in World Cup qualifying, get to a World Cup. They potentially will want to qualify for the World Cup. As you just saw there a second ago, was Ashif Dev's stats. Got some really good stats, and finishing especially. Was a really good striker. And another game against Indonesia. This is again Asian Cup and a huge game, and fortunately just before half time we concede from a corner and go 1-0 down. Not ideal at all. And as at the moment, basically what you're seeing is, I don't really include this that often, but just including the half-time team talks. Basically, you're about to see a bit of genius from me as a manager. That's what I think anyway. I can't really remember. It was a while ago that I recorded this, as you could probably see yourselves. I've accidentally included the date and I can't bother cutting it out. It was over a month ago that I actually recorded this, so memory has to be on point to remember what actually happened anyway. So it's kind of like you're finding out just as I am as well. But yeah, what a ball that was for Listening Clarko and Aniket Bharti, one of our basically star forwards. Smashed it in for 1-1. Fantastic goal. We're back in it. Like I say, huge game in terms of the Asian Cup, so fantastic. And then straight from kick-off, some obviously amazing play from Indonesia, but then literally lose the ball, and then it's almost a replica of the first goal, wasn't it? Liston Clarko, lovely free ball, through to Aniket Bharti, and then this time, what a screamer that is. And yeah, 2-1. Looking really good, really good chance of getting through now in the Asian Cup, but obviously things aren't always that simple. Indonesia on the attack and Jingan, our centre half, gives away a penalty, and Susanto for Indonesia makes it 2-2. Only 13 minutes to hold on as well, very disappointing. Game still not over though, potentially a chance for a winner for both us and Indonesia. But unfortunately it wasn't for us. It's for Indonesia. 3-2 to Indonesia. Last couple of minutes of the game. If you look at the stats as well, we had more expected goals, double the amount of shots that they had. Shouldn't really have been a game that we lost. As you can see, we had a goal disallowed, which would have been a Barty's hat-trick in the space of like 2 or 3 minutes, but wasn't to be. It was a defeat against Indonesia. We were only, a point or two behind us in the table at that point as well, so that was very disappointing. But yeah, we've actually skipped another year or so on after that because we didn't qualify, unfortunately, through the Asian Cup next round. But what a tournament that we do play in quite regular is the SAF Championship, which, as you can see, we won. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that, to be honest, because all the teams that are in it are a lot worse than we are. We should be winning it. We do pretty much win it every single time we play it. You will have seen the world rankings as well. 104th in the world. We started off around about that point, and maybe in we were up to like mid-90s at one point, so we're actually dropping at the moment, which is a bit disappointing considering we've got some good youth team players through. Showing you the squad now, and you can see some of the players that have come in. It's changed quite a bit since the squad that we had due to retirement and obviously players coming through. Showing you Saman Rai right now, who's a really good youngster. Loads of ability. And yeah, he's absolutely going to be a key player in this rebuild. But there's loads of players that we've got. The main position that we're struggling for at the moment is centre back. We've got Anwar Ali, who's a real player, who was on the game, who's under 23s at the start. We've got Cam Candola, but we play 5 at the back, 3 centre backs. So we're really struggling in terms of centre backs at the moment. We've got 2, pretty good ones. We've got Jingan as well, who's one of our best ones, but is ageing. So yeah, centre backs is definitely the position that we need. Going through the schedule now, I was looking at some obviously the previous games that we've missed, that we've just skipped past, gone on holiday, for example. So we've got the SAF Championship, which we did win, as we said, won every single game pretty comfortably. To be honest, we'll show the schedule again for a bit longer. There we go. And yeah, looking through some of the goal scorers, Asian Cup qualifying, we'll show the group, but basically, in a nutshell, we didn't qualify. A couple of the friendlies as well. Some quite difficult friendlies, 5-2 against Japan there, and against Jordan. Again, basically all the teams that were above us in the world rankings, but we're really struggling at this point, to be honest. We're just not really getting any higher in terms of the world rankings. I feel like we are improving the team. You look at some of the players, Harsh Mandal at 17 years old is an absolute rocket, isn't it? Wow. Pretty much 4.5 stars in terms of current ability and potential. We've got Saman Rai as well, who's completely in the wrong position there, but he's a really good prospect. We've got Ashif Dev on the bench, who's a really good young prospect. Peter Maitai, who has, you've probably seen through the national pool, looking at that, he has a lot of potential. Does Peter Maitai, not really improving at the moment, but someone who's going to have a huge future for us, absolutely. Yeah, got a friendly here against Thailand. To be honest, now I'm looking back at it, I'm thinking, why on earth am I showing friendlies against Thailand? I'm not showing actual competitive games. That will stop probably after this video. Yeah, I do apologise. I don't know why I've decided to do it that way. But yeah, already 1-0 down against Thailand, unfortunately. We do get back in the game. Ashik Karunian with the equaliser. really good goal. It actually does become a fairly important player for us, does Corunian. We don't get loads of wingers through, so for the next couple of years he's absolutely a starter for us. But again, at this moment in time, we are. I do feel like I am building up the team. I am getting there. We've got like Arjan Raiki in centre mid there. You can see in the starting lineup. Decided to put Saman Rai in centre mid as well, even though he's probably not ideal for there. It's mainly just the defence. We've got a couple of good players in like Kandola, Tandy, Anwar Ali. Goalkeeper's alright. But yeah, we need some of these youngsters to start coming through. As you can see, so quite a lot of the youngsters aren't actually playing. Harsh Mandal not playing. Basically, the reason for that is because of the selection. I was going on holiday at the time. Quite a lot of the time, I'm missing the squad selection for the teams, and they just weren't calling up certain players like our best players, like Harsh Mandal, put them in the youth team squads instead, or maybe because certain players weren't starting for their club side, they just weren't getting in the team at all. So that's the reason why. But again, I do make some changes that I start basically going on holiday until the point of the squad selection, so I can actually choose the right squads and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, 2-1 down against Thailand. We've included quite a lot of footage of this game. 3-1 down now. Again, I don't know if I'm going to try and say that name, to be honest. I'm definitely not going to try and say the name of the guy taking the free kick. Wow. Pomphan, I reckon, is probably about right. We're a Teeth Pomphan. If anyone knows if I pronounce that right, please let me know. Be absolutely amazed. But yeah, some fantastic names that some of these Thailand players have got. Pretty sure that's the only reason why I've actually included this video. Well, there might be some other reasons as well, but yeah. Thailand way above us in the world rankings. Not really a game we're expected to win or get anything out of, and to be honest, we're getting absolutely battered. Sufan and Minata, I'm going to go with. Is it 4-1 to Thailand? And yeah, that was how it ended. There was one of the players on the Thailand team that I just thought, this is too much of a amazing name to actually be real. Like, it can't actually be what I thought it was. And yeah, I think, yeah, did I show it? Yeah, I did show it. Again, looking through the Thailand team, I actually had a look at just some of their players. I don't think I show it, but I had a look at some of their current abilities, and they were all miles better than what we have. Something like 120, 130, 140 current ability. That guy didn't have much, but this was the guy's name that I was actually found. Suphan Fong Song. That Fong for Fong. Playing for Bangkok as well, would you believe it? Thought that was just amazing. And yeah, basically what we're now looking through is, again, just the national pool, showing you some of the players that have come through. We've gone forward another year, as I said. Got a few more players through. Suman Park is, you can probably tell by the name, not an Indian-born player, but someone who's played in the Indian League has actually got dual nationality now. So we called him up as our backup goalkeeper, which, as you'll see in probably the next coming minutes on this video, is quite important. Again, looking through the schedule, played some World Cup qualifiers, started off okay, but that loss against Kuwait 2-1 was quite a big one. Kuwait probably a little bit ahead of us in terms of the world ranking, but we really want to start making some progress, to be honest. We're now, 5-6 years into this rebuild, and we're nowhere near close to getting through to the World Cup. We've not got through the first round yet, and it's a couple more rounds after that. We have got some, like I said, some really good young players in. Pratik Fernandez is one who actually plays in the English League, Bristol City. Looks like a good midfielder. Looking at the top players there, we've got Suman Park, who just got to come through. Harsh Mandel's now is on there, as you would have seen before. Saman Rai, Peter Mate, Ashif Dev, all these youngsters that have come through already becoming our best players. So obviously the change in terms of the youth rating has had a major difference. In terms of world rankings, still struggling, aren't we? 104th, we're lower than where we started. 6 years later, we've actually made us worse, which is not really great. Not really the kind of result you want, to be honest. But again, keep going and we'll keep skipping. We've gone forward another year or so. Some decent results, an 8-1 win against a country I've never even heard of, Northern Mariana. And then Asian Cup qualifying again. We'll look through again the past year's results. We've got the World Cup qualifiers, which we'll have a look at that group in a second. We've got the SAF Championships, which again we won very, very easily. Some pretty big results in there. But it's just not the most competitive competition in the world at all. I don't show any games at all from that, unfortunately. If you're here for that, I wouldn't be. It's not a competition I'm focusing on. It's mainly the World Cup. I know I've shown some games from friendlies. I've not really shown much World Cup qualifying games, but at this point I was just like, we need to get a team ready to actually qualify, and maybe even qualify for the actual World Cup, and we're nowhere near there yet. We're not even getting past the first round, so let's skip a bit. Let's get as far ahead as we can, and let's see if we can actually build a team in the next couple of years. We've got some really good youngsters that have come through. We're starting to build a really good team, so maybe we could get there, get through and qualify for a World Cup. That's the main thing that I was hoping to do, is get India to a World Cup. And looking at the team, you know what I mean? I don't think we're that far away. We just need some of these youngsters to come through and maybe just get one or two more in the right positions. As I'm showing you right now, it's Harsh Mandal. Really, really good youngster, our best youngster that we had through for a very long time, 5 stars, and yeah, he wanted by Benfica, which surprised me, but he's got, you know what I mean, amazing potential. I think it's something like 160 odd potential. His current ability was, you know what I mean, the best in our squad, so I suppose it was bound to happen, and it could only help him, in my opinion, or it should help him in going to a European team, so we're hoping that he actually does make that change. Just looking through again the rest of the team, Harsh Mandal, 105 current ability with 160 potential, by far our biggest star. We've got Saman Rai there, who's got 134 potential. And again, he's grown quite a bit, as has Ashif Dev. We've got Tariq Singh and Ravi Mirandi, a right winger and a left back right back, left back who've come through recently. Again, young with a bit of potential, really good current ability, already come straight into our first team. So we are starting to build that team up. Peter Maitai's gone up to a 73, he was around about the 50, so he has improved quite a bit. You know what I mean? We are getting there. We're still trying to call up some players. Like I said, we tried to get Samir Vaz, a young English goalkeeper, to join us, but Leeds wouldn't have it, unfortunately. Joseph Yarni is a centre-back who plays in the Indian League. He's obviously English, but yeah, he wouldn't unfortunately come. But Prashant Mahato, someone who plays for Sevilla, he did agree to come. In terms of current ability, he doesn't look anything too special, but he is only 16 and he's got a decent potential ability, something like 130, 140, which I'll probably show you, I imagine, at some point. Yeah, there he is, 135 potential ability. But yeah, only 40 odd current ability, so a lot of growing to basically do. But yeah, we've got a few more that have actually come through as well, which again, I've skipped another month or so. We've got Marcus D'Souza, a 15-year-old at Chennai City, straight away, first team player at 15-year-old, fantastic. Not the most amazing potential ability, but still room to grow. But to have a player coming in at 15 years old who's already pretty much a first team player, absolutely fantastic. 134 potential ability, which to be fair is up there with some of our best players. Calvin Francis just seems to be getting loads and loads of fullbacks, which I suppose in a way is great, because we did need some defenders, but in terms of the defence, it was centre-backs that we needed the most, so not ideal. And all these defenders, they're tiny as well. Even like look at Angelo Nike, the CDM centre mid, position that we probably could have done with, because all our other centre mids are more like playmakers. This guy could be more a defensive player. Again, he's got good potential. He's only young, 15 years old, 16 years old. So yeah, happy with him. We've got some really, really good youngsters through, and again, they're all pretty much ready for first team straight away for India because of how poor our team is, to be honest. And yeah, and what you'll see going forward is a lot more gameplay in terms of the competitive games, the important games. I'm making all the squad selections as well, purely because we've got a really good base of young players now. I want to make sure that they are getting the game time. Like players like Pratik Fernandez, for example, you'll probably see him playing in like a couple of these games coming up, but every time I went on holiday, it wasn't included in the squad, as were a few more players, even though they were by far our best players in the squad. Basically because they weren't playing for the club squad. Pratik Fernandez there scoring a goal. He plays for Bristol City, but he just wasn't playing at all. So he wasn't getting called up, even though he definitely deserves to be starting with how good he is. So yeah, you can see the table there. We're actually up to first position in the Asian Cup. We've got a real good chance, to be honest, qualifying for the next round of the Asian Cup this time. We've got a decent group, Oman really being the strongest team in the group. We've got a draw against them at home, so this was really the big game. We win this one, we're basically through, and we qualify. Obviously, telling the squad that as well, we win this, we qualify, which completely made our goalkeeper Rohan Leithrow anxious. Always great to see that. But yeah, like I say, big game against Man. Win this, we've qualified and we're through to the next round. Potentially a draw would be enough as well. But yeah, a team that are above us in the world rankings. So an important game, but a difficult one. To be honest, the Asian Cup's not the biggest thing for me, but I really want to get up those world rankings just to see if it makes a difference in terms of getting some of these players with dual nationality who would just improve our squad so much. See if they would, they will join. We've got like Prem Ghosh and what's the other guy, Gandanda, who used to play for Liverpool. I really want to try and see if we can get a couple of these, but I've not been able to get anyone for a while. Saman Park, the goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper, being the last player. But in this game, we did take the lead. Saman Rai playing in the cam position, lovely ball through to Peter Maitai, and a lovely finish from the youngster. I say youngster, pretty much everyone in this team at the moment is a youngster. You might actually see in the lineup as well. I have changed the lineup. I've gone to a 4-2-3-1. Just wasn't working having 5 at the back, 3 centre backs when I didn't have enough centre backs. And you'll also see that Sim Tandy, who's right back, right wing back for us, we've moved into centre back. We've got so many full backs through in terms of prospects like Ravi Miranda, Calvin Francis. Forgetting about another one as well, I can't remember his name. Got so many of those guys through, and again, you'll see 1-0 win against a man and winning the group in the Asian Cup. Absolutely fantastic. That's the kind of progress that we wanted. But yeah, and I do feel like it was partly because obviously the youngsters going through, but also the changing formation. The 5 at the back just wasn't working at all. But yeah, qualify for the Asian Cup next round, which is fantastic. Only the 4th time they've ever done that, so I'm really happy to do that. And then, yeah, we'll see how we actually do in the Asian Cup. I'm not exactly expecting much, but I'm just hoping that it does have some sort of impact in terms of the world rankings, and it also gives us an idea in terms of how we can do in terms of those World Cup qualifyings, because we're playing against obviously other Asian teams. But yeah, in terms of the footage that you're seeing right now, friendly against Uzbekistan. Again, this, I promise you, must be the last friendly that I show. I don't understand why I showed so much friendly compared to the actual main games. 1-0 up though, thanks to Aniket Bartigol. Uzbekistan, again, are a team that are above us in terms of the world ranking. I don't think I've actually shown the world ranking since we've basically started to have an upturn in performance. There we go, we got 2-1 up thanks to Ashif Dev goal. I say Uzbekistan above us in the world rankings, but probably not too much at this point. You might also see a couple of new names, Jonathan Tamang being one. Not pointed him out up until now. Again, Prashant Mahato again. Pretty sure this was his debut, just to make sure that he couldn't choose to play for Spain, although it was just a friendly. Made absolutely no difference. Yeah, a couple of youngsters there that do actually go on to have really big futures for India. I'll show you obviously them in a bit more detail later on. But yeah, Uzbekistan did bring it back to 2-2, and that was actually how the game ended. In terms of how we performed away from home against a team like Uzbekistan, who've got quite a few players who play in Europe, a lot better in terms of their ability. I actually felt a 2-2 draw was quite good performance, quite an impressive showing from us, and we are really starting to improve. Like the team's quite a bit above us in the world rankings. They aren't exactly battering us. We're quite competitive in terms of how that game went. We were fine. This was the last game of the Asian Cup, even though we have already qualified. I thought I'd show you this one. 1-0 up thanks to Ashif Dev goal. Must only be 17, 18, 19 years old at this point. He's just absolutely banging in the goals though. Our team's so unbelievably young as well at this point. Must be average age of something like 21, something like that. But again, that shows that the future is bright. Unfortunately, in this game, we should be absolutely battering a team like Myanmar. They're something like 30 or 40 positions behind us in the world rankings. Never heard of them, to be honest. Apologies if that offends anyone, but I'd never heard of this country in my life. I'd like to think I've got quite a good knowledge on countries as well, but never heard of them until basically this happened. Yeah, should really be absolutely battering them, this team, but it was actually a really, really tough game, and as you can see there, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but a fantastic goal from their striker. It actually made it 2-1. I actually went to go and have a look at him because I was like, how the hell has this happened? How are we losing 2-1 against Myanmar? Gave the team a bit of a rollicking. What the hell's going on? But then you look at the stats, they've had 3 shots, 2 on target, expected goals of 0.44 and they 2-1 up, and we've had expected goals of nearly 2. So it's just mainly down to our poor finishing and also not really stopping there, very few chances going in. But yeah, 2-2, as you can see there, Peter Maitai. As I said, this game doesn't really have much bearing in terms of the outcome of the qualifying. We are actually pretty much at the end of the episode now as well. I'm going to skip ahead with a bit more footage and you will see it, but not much else happens in this game in terms of result. We should have easily won the game. Unfortunately, we didn't. It finishes 2-2. But yeah, end of the episode. As I say, quite a big episode in terms of just getting the squad ready. Next couple of episodes will be much heavier in terms of qualifying for the World Cup and basically trying to achieve that. And yeah, but basically actually point off the video. And I do apologise, it's taken a while to actually get there. As you can see, we actually nearly lost the game there, 3-2. But yeah, I do thank you guys so much for actually coming, watching the video. All the guys that have commented as well, thank you so much. Brand new to this, so please do give it a like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you did enjoy it. Anything else that you want to see, again, let me know. Open suggestions, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next couple of days on the next episode.